Well, guys, Melania Trump just held a press conference and made it everything worse. And it's a try not to laugh challenge as well, what she just said. First of all, take a look at this clip, guys.
Melania Trump might sue me for making this video, but too bad. Your dirty secret is coming out anyway. We have all said time and time again that the Epstein files should just be called the Trump Epstein files. But Melania Trump, she is just as much a part of that Trump name as her husband is. And that is what was just confirmed in some leaked audio exposing the very long-standing and intimate relationship, it's gross to say that, between Melania Trump and Jeffrey Epstein before she had ever met her husband. And this is the very claim that Melania Trump was threatening anyone for saying. She, much like her husband, was attempting to silence anyone speaking out. But this audio, it speaks for itself, and there is nothing that Melania can do about it. I want to get to the audio that has been released and explain what it confirms and why it has so many tie-ins to the Trump administration, including Paolo Zampoli, who was on the trip to China with Donald Trump, a best buddy of Jeffrey Epstein. That name is going to be important later, but it all starts with Melania's threat.
Yeah, now he's in the Trump administration.
This one right here.
The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated.
Wait a moment, I'm just stopping here. I have a question for you. Like, I'm a student of US politics. I'm not a native speaker. By the way, please excuse my accent. And what just happened to the accent of First Lady Melania Trump? Isn't she from USA? What kind of accent is it? If you know, let me know in the comment section, guys. Why her accent is so different from all the Americans?
To publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK.
First of all, good name, her good name, the good name of Melania Trump. Are we joking here? Like, let's be serious. The good name of Melania Trump, that is ridiculous and absurd on its face. But what that press conference was all about, besides Melania wanting to throw her husband under the bus and, of course, promote her book and her movie there a little bit, it was a threat. It was a public threat. Everyone was a little more than a little confused on that day, thinking, what could possibly be the point of this, bringing more attention to the files while Donald Trump had just started a war to make sure we didn't talk about them? What could be the point? It is abundantly clear that since then, the point was silence, to stop us from talking about Melania Trump, not to stop people from making like AI images of her and Epstein, but to just stop us in general, and especially from making statements like this that Melania Trump sued Michael Wolff over.
A new book was published yesterday in the US and UK entitled The Rise and Fall of the House of York. It's by a British journalist by the name of Andrew Loney. And it's about the pathetic life of Prince Andrew, but it is also about his connection to Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Melania Trump. And in fact, it contains a passage in which Epstein is quoted, and this is from an interview apparently in 2007, where he says that he had sex with Melania a full year before Donald Trump commenced his relationship with Melania.
Always the relationship between Melania and Epstein before she had ever met Trump that really got her, that was under her skin, that infuriated her the most.
This is a serious claim, It's Epstein in 2007 interview reportedly says he had a relationship with Melania Trump before she ever met President Trump. That's not a leak from an enemy that's allegedly from Epstein himself, and that is exactly what Melania's legal threats have been aimed at suppressing, and that's a serious claim.
What Melania, more than anything, was worried about. That is what she would go after you for. And much like Donald Trump denying as much and as often as he possibly could that he didn't even know Jeffrey Epstein, he was unaware of him as a human being. It didn't matter that he said he was his
Yeah.
best friend of a decade. No, he was going to deny it and deny it and deny it. And it only made us think even more that he was guilty as hell. And the same can be true for Melania, especially now that we have more information, now that we have confirmation, now that we have another model on the record, someone who worked with Melania, someone who was friends with Melania. And this person, they shared it all. And there's no refuting this. Melania named in bombshell new Epstein claims. A former associate of Melania Trump has sensationally claimed that the First Lady was an escort for Jeffrey Epstein and met the president through the notorious sex offender. Former Brazilian model Amanda Ungaro dropped the bombshell allegation on a tape recording accusing her ex-partner, modeling agent turned presidential envoy, said this name was important earlier, Paolo Zampoli, of lying about introducing Melania and Donald at a party in 1998, a lie that he has continued to reiterate since joining the Trump administration. The story of how Melania later met her future husband while working as one of Zampoli's models in New York is now part of MAGA folklore. It is also something that the First Lady had referenced when she held a surprise press conference in April, mysteriously denouncing what she claimed was mean-spirited and politically motivated lies linking her to the late child trafficker. But in her recording post, or on the recording posted on Twitter overnight, Ungaro, this model, who has been locked in a bitter custody battle with Zampoli for months, Zampoli, who's in the administration, disputed the version of events. Now, this is a tweet from Amanda Ungaro, someone who worked with Melania and was at least had a child with Paolo Zampoli. Let's tell the public, you never was the one introducing Melania to Trump, she writes. It was Jeffrey Epstein, and she was an escort of Jeffrey Epstein. That's how she met Donald Trump, Ungaro claims.
This is where it changes the tone of everything. The leaked audio isn't from a stranger, it's from someone who spent 20 years with the man at the center of this Zampoli, and she's saying clearly on tape that it wasn't him who introduced Melania to Trump, it was Epstein, and that's not official story being directly contradicted by someone who was inside it, and it's very strange. It's a latest story, and I'm shocked. So Melania Trump held a press conference that everyone found confusing, and she actually made it worse. Now we know exactly what it was. It was a warning: stop talking about me and Epstein or face legal action. As Jack Cocherella said, I might face legal action. And instead of stopping the conversation, it started a bigger one, and she made it everything worse. And now leaking stories is making it worse and worse every day. A lot of people says, a lot of political commentators says, President Trump just started these wars just to stop everyone about talking about, the Epstein issue. And you have seen when the war just started, people just stopped talking about the Epstein, and now again they have started talking about the Epstein file. So everybody was dragging Melania Trump into this and these new leaks and everything. So I think we should not talk about Melania Trump. We should talk about President Trump, and it's the First Lady. We should respect them. So what's your opinion? What do you want to say? What is your random thoughts about this story? Let me know in the comment section, guys. I'm a student of US politics and you're the teacher. You have to teach me the correct politics of USA. I'll bring more important videos for you. Till then, please take care of yourself.